Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Oh, God, what did I do now? Oh, well, let me see something here, if I can fix this real quick. What did I do here? Oh, my goodness. Let me fix this real quick. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Let me fix this. Thank you, Jim, for bringing this to my attention. How did I do this? I don't know. Let me just fix this real quick. I made the wrong thumbnail. How could I do that? Anyway, I'm gonna fix it. It'll take a second here. I just have to. Good morning, Jim. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Bear with me for a moment. Today, we're not going to talk about the best tourist today. We're going to talk about the worst tourist today. Okay, so let's see here. Boom. There we go. Yeah, that'll work, I think. Let's see if I can fix this real quick. And I should be able to. Okay, here we go. Change. Download. We'll go all the way to the end there. Worst tourists. That's what it's supposed to say. We're going to talk about the top 10 and more tourists. We just talked about the best tourists on, what was it, Tuesday? On Tuesday we talked about that. But now we're going to talk about the worst tourists. So let's see if I can get this to work here. It should be fine now. Might take a second to upgrade, but here we are. Today is a wonderful Friday. And, all right, now it's fixed. There we go. Looks beautiful now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk today about the top 10 worst tourists and more. Hey, hello, everybody. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Gabe. Hello, Jim. Hello again. Hello. Let's see here. What do I want to talk about first? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want to talk about. Just, I'm going through the shoulder thing. Maybe it's getting a little better. Maybe my pain is not quite as much, although I'm still in pain. But I'll get through it. And, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on right now with the family and everything like that. So we're not going to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that stuff. And we've got a couple of youngsters coming in here really early this morning with me. They always go to the side. They think that they're going to have to. They think that they're going to have to pay from the side, but it's not the side. They pay from the front over here. So anyway, let's not pretend that. Oh, come on, dude! I'm so far ahead of you. I've tried. Believe me, I've tried ice. I've tried heat. I've tried pain patches. I've tried everything, and I got more than you know to take care of myself. And I'm trying to keep everything to a minimum so that I don't get too out of hand. But that's all I'm going to say. It's getting a little bit better, I think. We'll see in a couple of weeks, but this thing takes time. So anyway, let's not pretend that the worst tourists are not really a thing, because they are. Some nationalities, I hate to say this, they travel better than others. And for all those little snowflakes out there who don't agree with me, too bad. I don't care. I really don't care if you agree with me or not. That's why I speak. You listen. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, I understand. You don't have to like it. So it's up to you. While most people want to relax, take photos, maybe eat a little local food, there is a special breed of tourist who, for whatever reason, they just don't get it. They are the loud ones. They are the rude ones. They are the disrespectful, the clueless, the entitled ones. I don't know what it is with these little kids next door here. There's always something going on over there. They're dropping stuff. They're whatever. It's a Swenson's. What do you expect? It's a Swenson's with little 17, 18-year-olds. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, some countries seem to export the misbehaving types more than others. And I know it might hurt some people's feelings, and I don't care. Again, I just don't care. I really don't. And I'm allowed to say these things. I'm allowed to say good and bad things about Thailand. I'm allowed to say good and bad things about America. That's what freedom really is. And I like to be able to speak freely. And I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm not out to bash any one group. Listen, I bashed the Israelis a little bit. Well, guess what? They deserve it. And if you don't think so, oh well. I don't care. I really don't care. My name is I don't care. I could say something else, but I don't want to. Anyway, today we're going to rank the 10 worst tourists in the world. And actually, we're going to do a little more than that. And if, like I say, if it offends you, then go ahead, get offended. I've lived here for 30 years, and I've seen some of these things firsthand. There are patterns, there are reputations, there are facts. And this video, this stream, is not about political correctness. It's about telling what I believe to be the truth. Now, let me see something here. There is one group on here that I believe, yeah, I don't believe it's in here, and I don't know where I would say that they're from, because it's a continent, not a country. So, like I said, I've been here for 30 years. I've seen this stuff. If you like this stream, you like the video, do me a favor, click like, and if you have yet to subscribe, please do so, and remember to hit the notification bell so you'll stay informed of the upcoming videos and streams. And if you would like to send me a letter, a comment, you can send me a nasty comment. But you know, I've got a couple comments in the last week or two. They're like 5 pages long. I'm not going to read it. I won't read a letter that's 5 pages long. If you can't say what you want to say within, say, 2 or 3 paragraphs, then you don't need to write me. Really, don't bother. Because I don't have the time to sit there and pick through what it is I can read it, but I don't want to have to go by point by point by point and try to respond to everything. Really, I don't want to waste my time. That's what it is. I don't want to waste my time. But you can send me a comment, and if you want to send me a Dear Scott letter, I got one the other day, and again, it was like 5 pages long, and I just can't do this. Or you need a consultation, you may email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Very simple, and I will try to get back to you. Right now, the exchange rate is 33.12. The air quality is 65. The temperature in Fahrenheit, 84 degrees, high at 91, low of 78. Feel like temperature, 87. and in Celsius, it's 29, high at 33, low at 26, and the feel like temperature is 31. Humidity is 83%. And it is sunny out right now, but the forecast for this week, well, today's Friday, so for the rest of this week and for next week, the forecast is heavy rain. And it has been raining something fierce here. I don't really mind it. I like to, if I'm going out, I like to get back in, then it starts raining. It's pouring rain, I'm in my house, I'm nice and cozy, and then, you know, it's all good. So, now, before I really get into the top 10 and the honorable mentions, I want to talk about the top 3 worst nationalities in Thailand. This is just in Thailand, okay? And some of you, again, maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. I think most of you will agree with these. They are what they are, okay? Number 3 on the list is our favorites, the Israelis. Listen, this is coming from ChatGPT. I do all the research through there, and then I research it through other sources on the internet and try to match everything up and see if they all coincide. But Israeli tourists have come under scrutiny for disrespectful behavior towards Thai customs and religious practices. Of course, the noticeable recent incident involved an Israeli woman refusing to remove her shoes in Koh Phangan in a cafe, leading to a viral video where she claimed, "My money builds your country." We should make a song, "My money builds your country." And such incidents have sparked public outrage and calls for stricter enforcement of cultural norms. And of course, there was the incident back in February where 4 Israeli tourists at a Pai hospital caused a disturbance. This is in the Mae Hong Son province, and their actions included verbally abusing medical staff. Well, we don't need that. Threatening doctors. Okay, who does that? Damaging hospital property, and smoking within the hospital premises. That's a lot of respect right there. They also refused to pay for services. What do you think? Everything's free because, you know, you're not at home, so you're going to get everything for free? And they were involved in reckless driving incidences without valid licenses and while drunk. Following the incident, the men were fined 3,000 baht each, had their visas revoked, and were deported from Thailand. Very good. The event sparked a broader crackdown on foreign tourist offenses in the region. And this case highlights the importance of respecting local laws and customs while traveling. Now, people have said to me, "Oh, all you do is single out the Israelis." No, this happened. I didn't do it. Don't look at me. I'm just reporting the news. I'm not the one who talked about this. You know, I mean, I didn't make this up. It's not coming from my brain. It's coming from the news. This is what happened. So, in this instance, some people, they happen to be Israelis, did things that got them deported. Now, there have been something like 33 or 34 incidences involving Israeli tourists, and that's why I use the word Israeli. And I don't use Americans in there. And, you know, hey, Americans might be the bad guy too, but we'll find out. This is the way it goes. Let's see here. All right, so we got through that. Let's get away from the Israeli tourists. The number 2 worst tourist in Thailand. Russian. The influx of Russian tourists, especially in areas like Phuket, has transformed local dynamics. While many are law-abiding visitors, there have been increasing reports of cultural insensitivity, aggressive behavior, and involvement in illegal activities. Listen, if you're involved in an illegal activity, like, you know, you're selling drugs, you're pimping out women, or whatever it is, then you need to be deported right away. Get them out of here. What are you doing that for? You go to America, you break a law, they're going to throw you in jail. And then they'll deport you. The establishment of Russian-centric communities has also led to tensions with locals over economic and social issues. Now that comes from Time magazine. So I'm going to say that that source is probably correct. So there you go. Now, I've been in Phuket. I was there, I don't know how many months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever it was. And the one thing that got me was not only are there just tons of people down there, at least when I went, many of them are Russian. Now, I don't care. I don't care if they're Russian. They didn't bother me when I was there. However, a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I was in Kaohsiung, and I was on a tour, and you have this Russian guy. He's a big guy, big, you know, strong-looking guy, and he's just screaming, and the monkeys are calling, and he's calling to the monkeys. And finally I go, dude, what the fuck? What's your problem? Huh? What? Huh? That guy was out of his head. You know, and this is what happens. They get all, I don't know if they're on the vodka from first thing in the morning or what the deal is, but that's what happened. The guy goes off. So this is not just an isolated incident. These are some of the people that are the worst people. The worst nationalities in Thailand. Number one, Chinese. Chinese tourists have long been a significant presence in Thailand. I mean, they've been a significant presence for more than 100 years. However, in 2025, their numbers have declined sharply, partly due to safety concerns following high-profile incidents like the kidnapping of actor Wan Jing. Despite the decrease, issues persist. Large tour groups often display disruptive behavior, including loud conversations, queue jumping, and disregard for local customs. Such actions have led to strained relations with local communities and a tarnished reputation. Their reputation is not good. Listen, their reputation is not good. I don't know about the Russians' reputation. People, oh, Russians, right? I've always been pretty good with the Russians. They've always been pretty good with me, but I have had, like I said, one incident, and that was it. That's just me. Now, Chinese, that's a different story. I've had them get in front of me, and I'm taking photos, and I'm there all by myself, and then the next thing you know, a tour group just runs up, and they're just oblivious, totally oblivious. They just get in front of me. I mean, I was in Chiang Mai, and the guy, I'm standing there in this museum. It's just me. I'm there. I'm the only one there. Next thing I know, the guy and his group come forward, and they just walk right in front of me, and there was only about 3 feet in front of me. They just walk right in between me. I go, hey, what are you doing? I go, get out of my way. Ooh, sorry. Now, I don't think that they purposely do things like that. But I do think they're just oblivious, and it's just that where they come from, things are done a certain way, and they just, I think they're kind of clueless. So, I don't know, but I think they need to behave a little bit better. So those are the 3 worst tourists. Have you tried it? Yes, I did. Hello, MGTOW. Makes sense. Bad apples. Duckling chocolate farang. I read the title as top 10 worst tourists. You might be one of them. Well, no, you might be surprised. Well, I don't know how you might be one of them. You might, I don't know. Depends on where you're from and if you act like an asshole when you go out with people. I don't know. I try not to. I try not to get too upset about anything. Because I know you're going to get to a point, and if you cross that line, the line between getting something done and just getting into a big argument, nothing's going to get done. So you might as well try to do things peaceably and just try to negotiate everything, work things out. To me, that seems to be the best way. But I've been here a long time, and let me tell you something. I know I've changed. Over these 30 years, I have changed. So, and it's funny that everybody says Americans, Americans. That's just bullshit. Okay? I know that there is such a thing as an ugly American, and I have seen Americans acting in a fashion that is just deplorable. But they are not the majority. That's what I'll say. Okay? There are a lot more of other nationalities that far surpass them. One group that is not on the list that is rather surprising, and that is the entire, I say this because I don't know which countries they're from. I don't know which ones. I could say Nigeria. You know, I mean, I met a Nigerian guy in Starbucks, and I tried to get him to tell me, where are you from? I knew he was from Nigeria, just by the way he talked and what he said, and I knew he was coming from Nigeria. Finally, he admitted it to me. But he said, oh, I'm having this problem with the immigration. And what problem is that? Oh, they don't want me here. Well, why don't they want you here? Oh, they say my work is not legitimate. And I went, well, is it? And he's, oh, yes, yes, of course it is. I don't know if it was or not. But I see, I will just say Africans. And in the old days, when it first arrived, in the first 10, 15 years, I used to see Africans, man, they would complain about the price of airline tickets, the price of hotels. They try to negotiate a price on the hotel and get the price down. They try to negotiate the price of airline tickets and get the price down, get a discount, get bumped up. I mean, they were the worst at the time. Now, I don't see that much anymore, but I'm not hanging out with them. But I don't know. I don't know why they're not on here, and I would think that they should be. Let's see here. I live in China, and about the Chinese disregard for personal space, I honestly think they don't realize they're doing it. It happens so much, I'm kind of used to it now. I agree. I don't think they really know. I think they're just freaking oblivious. They're just like, la la la. Thank you very much, Nomad Archer. Appreciate that. Glad to hear somebody out there cares. Very good. So that's the one group on my list. I could say it's Nigerians, but I don't know that they're all Nigerians. And I just stay away from them. I don't, listen, there was a time I was just with my wife. I'd been with her for like a year. And we go out and we're in the mall somewhere. We're in like Ramkameng Mall. And this guy comes up to her. Oh, hello, pretty lady. Oh. She's like, huh? And she's trying to be polite, like most Thais. She tries to be polite. Oh, hello, pretty lady. And then he sees me. Oh, hello, sir. He says, oh, I would like to talk to you about something. And then I walk up because I'm like, hey, she don't have to be nice to this guy. I don't want to talk to this guy. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You don't have anything I want. So she's standing there, and I said to her, just go over there, get out of here. I'm telling her, like, get out of here. You don't need to be here. And I said to the guy, what do you want? And he goes, oh, please give me your phone number, and I have a very good deal for you. And I said, okay, well, let me give you my phone number. So I gave him a fake number. There you go, buddy. And he walked away. My wife, right afterwards, she goes, why do the people from Africa always wear the green shirts? And she didn't exactly say it that way, but I can't say what she really said. She just didn't understand. And I said, just don't worry about it. Just don't trust them, all right? Don't trust them. I don't want to, jump on an entire nationality. But it's very difficult to stereotype someone. Well, you stereotype them, and there's a reason why they're stereotypes. Because some of it has to do with the truth. And so I said, listen, unless you're with me, you don't need to talk to them. I don't want them trying to get some money out of you, or trying to do a deal with you, or trying to make you their next girlfriend, or something. I don't want to hear that. So anyway, it never happened again, but that was what happened back then. You hear about Israelis, Americans, and British being bad tourists. You know, I hear about Israelis. Once in a while I hear about the British, like in Pattaya. I don't hear very much about Americans, and I'm not saying that because I'm an American, because I don't really lump myself in with them now, to be honest. Just because I'm not hanging out in tourist areas. And I got a message yesterday. Where is it? If I can find it real quick. It was from one of those passport brothers. The dream is fading, thank you. The dream of life of nomading is riddled with both half-truths and problems. Okay. There is no retirement here in the sense of plugging in, stringing together a nice life, and calling it a wrap. Well, that's what I've done. That's what I've done here. Nomad life, especially in Southeast Asia, the developing world, is caught between a rock and a hard place. Life inside central tourist zones is socially and financially unstable. This is from the lack of community, lack of manner, non-stop transience, and general health decay of tourist traps, especially from the nightlife, alcohol, danger, and romantic fallout. Well, I guess, you know, if you allow that to happen to you, to me, you're a dummy. If you allow that kind of stuff to happen to you, you're an idiot. All right, what is this? Hey, Scott, y'all got the great gal, Filipina P, with us tonight. Hi, PP. Okay, hello, Filipina P. Hang in there. One day you will meet your Nigerian prince. I hope not. I don't know why I would it doesn't matter to me if I meet a prince or not. What the hell does that matter? I mean, honestly. Aloha, Scott. My Thai Elite visa is approved, and I am having a baby boy. I'm excited. I bet you are. When's it due? You give Charles there a thumbs up, please. Thank you very much, Charles. Appreciate it. That's exciting. So you're starting your life now, here. Listen, once you have a kid, things change, man. And I gotta tell you, my life has changed. August 15th. Wow. Scottish and Chinese boy. I gotta tell you, after having my kids, my life changed. And for the first say, 5 or 6 years, things were easy. Yeah, you just make sure their diapers are changed, they're fed, and, you know, they don't stick their finger in an electric socket, and you're fine. After that, things start getting a little more difficult, and then they grow. When they get about 11 or 12, they start having that little bit of an attitude. Why? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And once they hit 17, 18, oh man, it's a new world, man. What time did when did I have kids? How old was I? How old is Alex? He's 24. 38. While life outside these zones is isolating, structurally inadequate, and has few to no like minds and no staying power. I disagree with that, because I am outside of the tourist zones living here. And I never live in the tourist zones. Only once did I do that, and that was when I lived on Sukhumvit Soi 1. And I just don't do it. I mean, why? I don't want to live amongst tourists. I don't understand why people come here and then they want to live right around the people that they live with back in their own country. Why do you do that? I mean, it's nice. Like, listen, I'm here, and I have, I would say, you know, a handful, maybe 5 or 10 friends, and I see them. Some of them, like I see Tom, you know, a couple times a week. I see a couple others. I know a British guy. I see him once in a while. I bump into him once in a while. There's a few people that I see every so often, and that's good. That's enough. I don't need to be around Americans and everybody else. I don't have to do that. I don't need that. Now, maybe it's because I have a family. Even the systems inside city centers will almost never perform to your liking. You eventually run out of hype. Well, I will say that Thailand, in Thailand, that you will reach a point, if you are any kind of explorer, traveler, you will reach a point where you have done much of what can be done here. And I would say I've done probably 80%, and some of the stuff that I haven't done, I don't want to do, I don't care about. And then some of the stuff, okay, I do need to do, but that's true. You will run out of the hype. You'll be faced with the only alternative going back central. I don't know what that means, but I guess going back to the tourist zone, I don't need to do that. Now, very few, I'm just reading this because I think it was interesting, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Very few people overcome this. There's 3 options. The first option, get out of the central zones. Find a mate and make a slice of life. Well, wait a minute, that's what I did. Highly ill-advised. Wow. So I've been here for almost 31 years, and it's highly ill-advised. I wonder when it's going to come to bite me in the ass. There is almost no evidence of this ever working. Right here. All signs point to eventually abandoning that plan before bad luck takes over. Do not underestimate being solo versus locals, especially legally. And the need to ID all people who enter your life and have security guards and cameras trained on them, which wealthy locals in city centers always do. Go ahead and forget being a foreigner outside the center with none of that. That's where you lost me there. Second option, constantly travel around. Third option, stay central. Now, all I can say is this whole passport bro thing is a bunch of bullshit. That's what I'll say. I feel like the people needing to be around their nationalities and tend to be the same people who are running from something. Yeah, maybe. Maybe so, yeah. Thailand is their escape route as opposed to being a place they are interested in. Listen, when I came here because I used to fight in Muay Thai. I used to train in Muay Thai, and I went to Holland, and I trained there. 5 years in a row I would go, and I'd stay there every year for a month, almost a month. And they used to tell me, oh, you have to go to Thailand, you have to go to Thailand, you have to go to Thailand. But I didn't want to go because I thought, oh, they don't speak English over there. Finally, I went, you know what? I'm kind of tired of going to the Netherlands every year. I want to go to Thailand, and I want to train in Muay Thai. So I came here, and I did train in Muay Thai. And I said, well, I don't think I'm going to be winning any championships over here. These guys are going to kick the shit out of me, which was true. But I still liked it. It was fun, you know. And they knew. I got to the point where I just went, all right, listen, this has got to be fun. It can't be, I'm going to try to make a living from it, because I would have starved. Okay, because you don't make very much. I mean, I think the last fight I had, I made 2,000 baht or something like that, and that was kind of like a, you know, kindness of their heart. Anyway, let me continue here real quick. I want to get through this. There is also more to worry about. Developing countries take an enormous financial and emotional resilience to be in. Far more than you probably expect. Now, that may be true. You need to be strong, or this place, or the Philippines, or wherever, it will chew you up and spit you out. The endless drama, setbacks, romantic fallout, theft, danger, alcohol, and financial loss will prove it. In your home country, you can usually survive on trash food, coffee, nicotine, alcohol, and make dumb choices for years. That type of behavior fails here. Now, what I will say is, when you're young, you get away with doing shit that when you're older, you can't get away with. I don't want to go to 7-Eleven and eat, what are they called? You know, and I've eaten them before, but I don't eat them now. I don't eat them. The little, you know, they're the bread with like ham and cheese in them, or muya, something like that. You know, they're like 29 baht or 27 baht or whatever it is. I don't go in there and buy that kind of stuff. I don't want to eat, yeah, Toasties. Thank you, Jim. I don't want to eat that kind of stuff. What is that? This is junk. Last night for dinner, I had 2 pieces of salmon, a salad, and what else did I have? Oh, I had some peppers. I had like 3 peppers that were all chopped up, and then they were grilled with the fish. And that was it. That was my dinner. And I thought, this is quite good. And that was like 250 baht altogether. That's what it cost me. No. I rarely eat ice cream because I like it too much. And I know that. That's why I've been to Swenson's. Since I've been coming to this mall, I've been to Swenson's 2 times. That's it. Better have all 8 B vitamins ready to prevent nerve damage. You should not consider this lifestyle without very strong command of nutrition and fitness. Okay. I'm not the most fit, but I am a lot more fit than most people know. Go look at my Instagram. Go look at the exercises and take a look at me and tell me how I'm a fat piece of shit and I'm this and that. I think you'll be surprised. Even under perfect diet and perfect sleep, this is not easy. Well, I will say something. You do need your sleep. And I have a hard time sleeping sometimes. First of all, because I wake up in the middle of the night, I got to take a piss. Which I think older men, that happens sometimes. Rarely do I sleep all night without having to take a piss or without waking up. Now, what I have done is just put my phone away, and if I wake up, I don't like grab my phone, look at it, see do I got any messages, what time is it, or anything like that. And that helps me a little bit. But I don't sleep as good as I should. I only sleep like maybe 5 or 6 hours at most. You will also have to go back to your home country repeatedly over the course of years before ready to live here. Not really. All things considered, better off just coming here seasonally, if at all, and that's no joke. Maybe that's true. I think it's much better to come here and be a visitor for, say, 3 to 6 months than to come here and live here at this juncture. However, if you have your act together, you have a good pension, you have enough money, you're smart, you're not the kind of guy who's going to go to jail, you know, you got to worry about things that you do, then yeah, you can come over here and do that. If you're, and you know, also, are you the type, I know a lot of people that they go back because they miss their family, they miss their friends, or whatever, and you see, I don't. I miss my family. Of course I miss my family. But like all my friends back in the U.S., listen, I figured it out. When I first came over here, I thought, oh, wow, you know, it'll take me a little while. I'll get all set up, and then I'll get some of my friends to come over, and they'll see what a great life it is here. And, you know, I talk to them. Oh, yeah, I should come over there. Yeah, well, why don't you? You know, all you got to do is pay for the ticket, and I'll take care of the rest. Okay. Oh, wow, thanks. Oh, yeah. I did that with like 10 people. Not a one of them showed up. Not one. And I went, what's going on? Okay, they don't have the travel bug like me. Now, there's been a couple of people who I knew they were travelers. My friend in Ecuador, and there's a couple others. And he came over. And he hung out with me, my wife. This is a long time ago. Okay, there are some people like that. But for the most part, friends are not going to come over here. Now, if they're really close friends, maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I've got a close friend. He said, my wife wouldn't let me go over there for nothing. He goes, are you kidding me? Now he's got grown-up kids. And he's like, all right, I think I can go over there, so I'll have to start making arrangements. But, you know, it takes him 6 months to make an arrangement to figure out if he wants to, you know, how he wants to do everything. Let's see here. And never live inside a red light district either. Well, that's true. Unless you have the emotional range of a frozen tumbleweed in the barren outskirts. Listen, I lived on Sukhumvit Soi 1. The next street over is Sukhumvit Soi 3. That runs into Sukhumvit Soi 4, where Nana Plaza is. I could walk to Nana Plaza in, say, 10 minutes. And I live there. Now, was it the wisest choice? No. And then it's like, you're gonna want to bring a girl home, and it's like, oh, should we just walk there? And they don't want to walk. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting comment. And then I got a real short one here. Nobody will come to Thailand. Scam everything for higher prices than any Asian country. This is only for foreigners. The worst is their bars throughout Thailand and charges without prices menu. Well, you can always ask the price. If you're smart, you'll go, hey, how much is this? And you'll look at the bin when you get the bin. That's what you do. That's a smart person. Just because thinking there's most beautiful ladies. Most of Asian and Far East countries are not interested in coming to Thailand. Well, that's kind of funny. I know the Malaysians come. We know some Cambodians come. We know a lot of Burmese are coming now because they want to live here. And some Laotians come. But okay, maybe it's a little close to home. Who knows? Anyway, let's get back to this here. Let's see here. What is this? You know how old when you gotta you're old when you gotta chow on salad. I don't have to chow on salad. I like salads. Hiroshi's Aloha Kitchen. How long did it take you to get acclimated to learn to tolerate the heat and humidity? I'm still not acclimated. Really, I mean, there's times when I go out and I'm like, man, it is just so brutal out. It doesn't matter that you're used to it. I mean, I grew up in Florida, which, the humidity is torture there. It's really bad in South Florida. It's muggy. And, so then when I came here, I mean, I went to California, but then when I came here, I was like, all right, it's kind of the same weather, but it's even more hot sometimes. So I don't really think that I've become acclimated to it. I've tolerated it. And now I just know you're going to get hot, and, you can bitch and moan about it, or you can just accept it. Oh, it's hot out today. Okay. And that's it. You just don't get used to it, Let's see here. You're old. You got to eat old people food and shower with Dove body wash or do some other Nerf down products. MGTOW, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't do any of that shit. Brussels sprouts and asparagus, I don't eat them. Shall be an Euro immigrant in Bangkok. Okay. Been eating Brussels sprouts and asparagus since I was young. Tasty. I hate them. I hate both of them. I don't like them. I see prices everywhere, but I don't hang out in skanky bar areas. Well, listen, just because you go to the bars doesn't mean, that you're hanging out in skanky areas and you're doing skanky things. And you could just be going out with a buddy and you just want to have a drink with them. Now, I haven't gone into the bars really. I haven't gone in a long time just because I'm like, hey, I don't need to go here. I've been here a million times. And what's it going to do for me? Well, think about it. I'm married. I'm happily married. I don't want to screw around. Right? So I go into a bar and there's all these girls. Oh, hello, handsome man. Oh, why you not smile? Oh. Because I don't feel like looking at you. That's why. I don't care what you look like. And when I went to Pattaya, I don't know how long ago now, a year ago, all the girls were all covered in tats. They're all tatted up. And I'm like, I don't like that. And I'd say out of 100 girls, probably there were 3 or 4 that were decent looking. The rest of them were a bunch of pigs. I mean, I'll just tell it like it is. Don't be confused by the melanin. I do not do well in the heat either. Never get used to it. Learn to live with it. Avoid it. Yes. Hey, man, I've been to over 35 countries all over the globe. There are no better weather overall than the San Francisco Bay Area weather. If you say so. I've been to about 60 countries. And I don't agree with that. I've been there a couple times, and I don't think the weather is great there, but okay, whatever. It's decent. That's about it. I'm only there 6 months a year, usually November to April when con can, but spend a couple of those months riding around Southeast Asia. Ah, that sounds like fun. Chinese tourists would love San Francisco. They already like to chit on the sidewalk. Yes. Oh, my God. All right, let me take a look at this. We got to get to this list here because we get a little carried away here. Let me see here. Where are we? Okay, top 10 worst tourists by nationality. Ooh, well, now we're gonna get into this one, and I don't want to hear any guff about it, but I don't think I would put this group in here. And as I said, I didn't see any countries from Africa in here, which that says something. And that is South Korea. This one's rising fast. They travel in packs, talk loudly, film everything, and can be dismissive to service staff. Locals in Thailand and Japan have started to complain more and more. Not terrible, but noticeably inconsiderate. Okay, I haven't really noticed that. I've noticed that there are tour groups of them out there, but I noticed they tend to be very polite. I don't think they belong on this list, at least not in the top 10. I think you could put an African country in there and that would be just fine. All right, number 9. German tourists. You'd think the most organized tourist would be the best, but Germans are known for acting like hall monitors, overbearing, inflexible, and smug. The infamous towel on the beach chair at 6 a.m. stereotype, yeah, that's real. Okay, I guess. Oh, now this one. Oh, my goodness. I don't really agree with this. Number 8. Australian tourists. Weren't they in the best tourist also? 2 words, Bali and Phuket. Aussies abroad often act like they're in their own backyard, drunk, shirtless, loud. It's the younger party crowd that drags their reputation down. If it's cheap beer and a scooter, there's a shirtless Aussie not far behind. All right, so it tends to be the younger crowd. I think the worst tourists tend to be younger people. So, I don't know. I don't have many run-ins with Aussies, although once in a while, I'll be out somewhere. If you remember when I was in Vietnam, some guy walked up to me and, hey, what's going on? You want a drink? Yeah, okay. He bought me a beer, then I bought him a beer, and he was an Aussie. He said, oh, yeah, I work here, and then I bought him another beer. The next thing I know, the guy just kind of left. And I was like, okay, no thank you, no nothing. And that's kind of not typical for them. But he was young. He was like, 28 or something like that. Okay, now number 7, I think there's going to be now I think people are going to start to relate to these next few. Number 7, Indian tourists. Oh, God. Indians are traveling more now than ever, and it shows. Big, noisy groups. Constant bargaining. They do like to bargain. Some leave hotel rooms in horrific condition. And the hygiene issues, not just a stereotype. There's truth here, and it's hurting their global image. Now, I must say, of all the Indians that I have met, a very small percentage of them do not smell. They, the curry smell, the BO smell. Yeah, okay, maybe a lot of them smell like that, but some of the ones that I've interacted with, maybe because they were westernized, maybe because they were Sikhs, I don't know. But they didn't smell bad. Although a lot of the ones, you go walking around, and if they're in the area, you're going to smell them. And I hate to say that, but I think maybe they don't smell themselves. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you very much. Give Joe a like, and I'm going to give him a little thumbs up there if I can. Oh, God. Oh. Let's see here. Oh. We are here to help you. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. All tourists are annoying. Well, that's true. They're on vacation and the people serving them aren't. You got a point. You got a point. And you know, maybe that's why I don't like being in those areas. I mean, I just want to be a regular guy going down the street, go get myself a little chicken. People serve it to you, and they're, you know, they don't care who it is. Just here, yeah, you got money? Yeah, all right. Okay, everything's good. It's not like, oh, where you come from? What's your name? How long you stay Thailand? Oh, you pay 500 baht. I thought it was only 100 baht. You don't get that. No, I don't think some of them use deodorant. Although the obese Aussie women who I met on PP were entitled and obnoxious. Well, those kind of people are around everywhere, and I think the younger they are, the more apt they are to be that way. I encountered a lot of Indians in Singapore. Yeah, they came across as almost as bad as mainlanders. Yeah, you know, I've been in Singapore many times, and I think the last time or the second to last time I went, I took a train, and I went down there, and then I stayed in the only time I've ever done this, I stayed in a hostel in Singapore. I wanted to see how cheap could I do it. And I happened to stay in this room, and this guy in the room with me was an Indian, and he did not smell, and he was a good guy. Nice guy, smelled clean, you know, he was a good guy, and I liked him. And, you know, I'm still, like, connected to him on Facebook. He told me, if you ever come to India, but I don't know if I'm going to go to India. I just don't have the desire to have to deal with that shit. Now I have, my patience level is very, very low. They can use deodorant. It doesn't stop the smell. It's hereditary. I don't know if it's hereditary. I think it comes from the curry and some of the other stuff, the spices that they eat. Koreans are super nice, but good grief. I searched by their airport staff a total of 4 times on a connecting flight from Incheon. They are very strict when it comes to their airlines. No, they don't all smell. Like button helps creator. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do I got here? 19? We got 48 people here, and I got 19 thumbs up. Wow. Be good if the thumbs up matched the number of subscribers. All right, so let me go on here. Ooh, number 6. French tourists. French tourists have a reputation for being arrogant. I think French people have that reputation. But I will say I have been to France, and I only had a problem with one person, and that was the taxi driver when I was leaving to go back on the airport. And the reason was he wanted me to hurry up because he was waiting for me, and I was trying to bring all the bags out and everything, and he just was impatient. And other than that, I had a great time. And, you know, I spoke a little French, and then we would go to a coffee shop. It was like a coffee truck. We would go there almost every day, and the lady who ran the truck was very, very nice, and she taught us some French, and, you know, we taught her a little English. It was very nice time. They can refuse to speak any language but French, even when they can. They don't engage with the local culture and have a way of making you feel like you're the problem. I never feel like I'm the problem. I'm sorry, I just don't. If I'm the problem, I know it. I mean, honestly. If I'm the problem, I know in my head, hey, I'm being difficult, or I'm pushing the limit, or something. I know these things. All right, number 5. American tourists. I'm American, so I can say this. We can be embarrassing. Loud, obnoxious, clueless about culture, constantly comparing everything to the U.S. Now, I don't do that. I would say sometimes I could be a little loud. I understand that. Other than that, I don't think I'm clueless about culture. Even cultures that I have not been to before, because I do a little research. I try to do research for every country that I go to, and I try to understand, hey, when you're going to this place, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. I try to keep up on everything. And when it comes to Thailand, I don't think I have any problems at all. In fact, I think I pull back on the reins a lot, and if I really wanted, I could get a little more difficult and probably get away with it. But the idea is to solve the problem. The idea is to figure out what's going wrong between you two, and how are you going to solve it? How are you going to progress and move forward? The idea is not to be right or wrong. So that's what I think about that. Now, I've encountered several obnoxious Americans during G international flights. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them around, and I hear them sometimes, but I think on the whole, they are definitely not in the top position. I know some people may say, oh, they're in the top 3. Well, maybe, but I would say that Chinese, Indians, Israelis, and maybe Russians are more deserving of the top spot. It helps having learned Thai. Most Thai people are willing to welcome you into their home and offer you their firstborn son, basically. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty true. If you speak the language, and I got a message the other day from a guy, oh, Scott, I completely disagree with you. You're so wrong. People don't need to learn Thai. They only speak Thai in Thailand. Well, no, they don't. They speak it in other countries, too, that surround Thailand. Maybe not as much as in Thailand, of course. However, if you're living in Thailand, why wouldn't you want to learn the language? And then the guy was telling me about how, the guy had a girlfriend. He had a friend that had a girlfriend, and for 2 years, and all they do is use the translator. And I'm like, why don't you just learn it for the fun of it? Why don't you learn it for the fun of it so that you can see, hey, can I do this? No, I'm lazy. It's like using a calculator for math. I understand if you're trying to do business and but if you're doing some small transaction, why can't you just do the math in your head and figure it out that way? Why do you have to use a calculator? Well, why do you have to use a translator? So to me, it makes no sense. Hey, listen, my name's Scott, and I've had almost 50 people, I think it was 50, watching this channel. Now there's 47. And I've only got 26 thumbs up. I'm just kind of wondering why that is. Maybe some people don't like the channel. Maybe they don't like the stream. I don't know. But I would appreciate it if you like the stream. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you $1.99 like joining the channel. If you hit the join button below the video window, if you hit the join button, you can join for $1.99 or $3.99, whatever you want. But it would be good if you hit the like button. When I don't see people hitting the like button, I just go, did I do something wrong? Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, YouTube kissed my ass. Oh, God. All right. Loud, obnoxious, clueless about culture, constantly comparing everything to the U.S. That's one thing I don't do. I do not compare everything to the U.S. because I don't live in the U.S. now. I hate it. Comparing is... I understand you just come here. You've been here for, 6 months, a year, 2 years. They deleted my messages 4 times. Wow. That's crazy. I can understand comparing then, You know, or you're like, oh wow, you know, if I got my hip replaced, it would cost about $50,000. It only cost me $10,000 here. All right, I kind of understand that, but just on a day-to-day basis, oh well, you know, like eggs cost $8 there, and here they cost $2. You know, I mean, what does it matter? You're here, you get it for $2, right? Some walk around like they own the damn country they're visiting. Tone it down, folks. I don't see many Americans, honestly. I don't see, maybe because I'm not in the tourist areas, but I don't see many Americans walking around acting like they own the place. No. I mean, like yesterday, I saw about 3 guys. They looked like they were Americans, and one of them was about 350 pounds. He did not look like he owned the place, nor did he look like he was trying to own the place. He was just trying to find his way around. And the other 2 guys just looked like, you know, average, everyday kind of guys. All right, number 4. Uh-oh. Israeli tourists. Infamous with hostel owners and guest houses across Southeast Asia. Oh, you know, you're charging me 400 baht. Can you charge me 200? Because, you know, your price is so high. I told you this story. I told you the story of the Israeli girl in the Jolly Frog in Kanchanaburi. It's now the Smiley Frog. And she had a 50 baht room that she had to work for. What did she do? She just helped people that were checking in for 4 hours a day. And then she got a free room. When I told her I had a 500 baht room, she just about lost her shit. I thought she was going to jump on my dick right there. Because she was just like, oh my God. And then she proceeded to tell me how 2,000 baht was way too much to go get her visa renewed. And I was like, wait a minute, that's about $60. So you're complaining because it costs you 30 baht to go and 30 baht to come back. And then you have to, you know. And I just shook my head and I went, oh my God. Because I don't want to think, you know, like, oh, well, they're all cheap. I don't like to think that way. But about her, I went, oh, what do you want it for? Free? You want to go for free? Is that what you want? Because that's what it seemed like. Disrespectful, demanding, argumentative. Some places outright ban them. I understand why. Really. I'm not saying ban the whole nationality. I'm saying the people that make a problem, like that chick the other day. Okay, you shouldn't ban her because she didn't do anything really harmful, but she was very disrespectful. Okay, ban her from that establishment. And you say if she has any more problems anywhere else, then she's getting booted. Many are post-army backpackers who think they're on a victory tour and rules don't apply. I've heard that about from many, many people. Number 3, here you go. British tourists. Wow, I put Israel and Israelis and British in the same sentence. Oh my God, can you believe it? That's because I'm not picking on anybody, okay? Drunk and disorderly, that's the stereotype, and it's often true. From Ibiza to Bangkok, you'll find Brits passed out, throwing punches, or puking in the street. They take the pub mentality everywhere they go. Okay. I would say that's true, and if you just saw, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, the 2 guys standing out there trying to start a fight with the Thai bouncers in Pattaya. And then finally, the Thai bouncer had enough, and he said, okay, boom, he hit the guy. Down he went. A bunch of people jumped on the guy, started beating his ass. And I'm like, well, what do you expect? What do you really expect? They don't play here. You know, I mean, most of the time, you whack some guy. I can tell you, I know a story of a guy who... he whacked some guy because somebody wanted him to beat the guy up. So he does it, and the guy who got knocked down, he was hurt, and his girlfriend was Thai. His girlfriend said, this guy's got to pay. They made him pay 25,000 baht, but he didn't go to jail. He had the money, he paid it. He didn't go to jail. So that's how it works here. You mouth off and you get too lippy and you get overly aggressive, and then guess what? Then you might just get knocked out. Or you better be ready to fight. And let me tell you something, I have no mentality about fighting anymore. I'm not a young man. I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want any hassles. I'd rather just walk away. Okay, you're right, buddy. Sorry. I'd rather walk away. I don't want to fight. Doesn't pay. You know, and again, you can always think of the thing, hey, what happens if I hit this guy? Or if some guy hits you, you go down, boom, you bang your head on the cement. That's it, you're dead. All right, number 2. Russian tourists. Rude, pushy, and aggressive. Russians often ignore cultural norms and treat locals like staff. Their attitude screams, don't tell me what to do. They're not trying to fit in, they're trying to dominate. Yeah, oh, that's real bright. Let me try to dominate the Thai people in their own country because I'm better than they are. Now, like I said, I don't really have any problems with Russians. In fact, I went to Russia twice, and I had a wonderful time. They treated me great when I was there. But, you know, I was there for business. That's a little different. I wasn't a sightseer. I wasn't a backpacker. I was there for business. And we got the business taken care of, and everything got worked out. But, you know, it is what it is. I went there for business. I did not go there trying to be a tourist, although I did some touristy things. And, I went to a mall, and I bought some stuff, and I got some espresso, and they had these hot girls out there selling it. And so I was like, oh, are you guys selling the espresso here? Because they had bags of it. Oh, yeah, we're selling the bags, but we're also giving away free espresso drinks. I said, oh, wow. So I sat down. Boom, they gave me some espresso. And then they started talking to me. Oh, where are you from? And, just being nice. And it was a nice time, But really, other than that, that's all I can say about the Russians, Number 1. The undisputed number 1. Screaming in temples, spitting on the street, letting their kids poop on the sidewalk, or like I saw in the airport, pissing in the airport, shitting in the airport. Entire tour groups storming into sacred sites with zero awareness. It's gotten so bad that even their own government has tried to rein them in. Of course, I am talking about Chinese tourists. I don't know if you ever heard, but back in the 90s, there was the Mark and Brian show in Los Angeles, and they used to do this thing about Chinese drivers are the worst. I don't remember how the song went, but they made a song up, and they used to sing it every so often about how bad Chinese drivers were. So, anyway. All right, now, I also have some honorable mentions. I have 5 honorable mentions. Actually, wait a minute here. What is this? Well, actually, I got some others here. Who could possibly be number 1? I was in Russia for business too, but we stopped doing business after the sun goes down, and then we had the time of our lives. They know how to show a bunch of foreigners, guys, a good time. Yeah, I had a very good time there. I was with one guy who was with the Russian organized crime group. And, he was just interested in Muay Thai and boxing. And so, I went on the pads with them and showed these guys a few things. And then, everybody was working out together and everything. And then afterwards, we all went out to dinner at a nice restaurant. We go to this restaurant, and it's like there's nobody there. The place wasn't even open. And they said, oh, yes, come inside. We went in. We sat down. We had a big table to ourselves. And we just had a bunch of great food. The food was really, really good there. I couldn't believe how good the food was in Russia. I really couldn't. I was amazed. All right, so let me continue here. So we know the Chinese tourists, all right, they don't have the best reputation. Neither do Russians, neither do Indians, neither do Israelis. Maybe Americans don't have a great reputation either. Okay, whatever. And French, of course, you know. Now, the honorable mentions. Number 5. Vietnamese tourists when traveling abroad. Not a dominant group yet, but rising complaints of noise, littering, and lack of respect for local customs, especially in Japan, Korea, and Thailand. Now, the only time, now, Vietnam is on the best tourist list, but the only time that I've ever seen Vietnamese act poorly, and I don't think they did it on purpose. I was standing in line to get my, to get through immigration. And when I was standing there, I just noticed somebody walk in front of me. And then another guy walked in front of me. And before I knew it, there was about 20 people, like they just stood right in front of me. And I go, hey. Hey. I said, hey. They looked. I said, back of the line. You see the line? Go in the back. And then they went to the back. But I was like, I hope they go back there. Because they just thought, oh, well, I'll just get up wherever I can. They're kind of like the Chinese when it comes to that. You know, oh, there's a line. No, this line is just, you just stand, you see where you go. It doesn't mean anything. All right, number 4. This is kind of surprising to me. Spanish tourists, party-focused like their British cousins. Reports of bad behavior, especially from younger travelers, are common in Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. Yeah, I know some Spanish people here because of my wife. She's worked with Spanish people from all over the world. She's been to Spain. And what I know is that most of them, they're not like that. They're not going to, I don't know if they really belong here or not, but okay, I'll believe it. But the ones that I know tend to be pretty mellow and friendly, and they like to get drunk though. Number 3, Argentinian tourists, proud and loud, often clash culturally, especially in Europe, with a reputation for arrogance and overconfidence. And I'll tell you where I saw Argentinians, and I didn't really interact with anybody, but my buddy has had some interactions with them, and he knows about them, and that's in Ecuador. They come up from their country and go into Ecuador, and then they just stay for months at a time, and they tend to have this attitude of arrogance. I mean, a lot in the place where I was, there were places like you wanted to get croissants, right? So you're going to go looking for a croissant shop. They might own a croissant shop, and the shop is closed. They don't open it up. Maybe they open it up 1 or 2 times a week because they make money. Or maybe they open it up every day, and you go in and they've got 30 croissants there. When they sell out, that's it. They're done. They close the shop, and that's it. They're done. They go and do whatever else they're going to do. Now, there was one place that I thought was funny. It was right on the beach, and they were selling shirts. They had I'd say about 30 shirts. That's all they sold was the shirts. And some of the shirts were outside, some of them were inside. This is a little tiny place. So that's what they do. They go up to Ecuador. They open little tiny places because they can. And they can get away with it. And they try to make enough to where every day they're spending their, $20 a day or whatever it is they're spending to live. And then they try to live for, you know, years. A lot of them, they're surf bums. Anyway, let me read this here. Let me read everything here. Potatoes 6 ways. I didn't have many potatoes in Russia, really. We had our own security team, and everywhere we go, our security team have to negotiate with the clubs. As a retired hotel executive, I oversaw several hotels that catered to Chinese tourists. They were unquestionably number one, and the second place wasn't even on the same playing field. Yeah. Not the French Arabics. I'm just happy we Americans didn't take the number one spot, not even the second or third. Not only the Chinese tourists, but in mainland China, the mainland Chinese who live here, worst neighbors possible. Oh. Number one must be the Koreans. No. They overdrink every time while on vacation and create a scene where there are no one with them who can carry them out to the taxi to get home. I've never seen that here. And actually, the Koreans that I've met have been always been pretty polite. In fact, the last time, was it Korean or, I think it was Korean. The last time we're all, you know, me and my wife had sat there and we had this big blue drink. I don't know what the hell it was called, Blue Hawaii or something like that. We had like 2 of these big buckets and we drank them all. And we were starting to get a little bit smashed. We were getting drunk. And we're like standing there, I hear these people singing and stuff, so I'm standing there and I'm shooting a little video. And this guy comes up to me, hey, you want a beer? He gave me this big, huge beer, and I went, okay, sure. I drank the beer with him. You want another one? Okay. He was a nice guy. One parameter overlooked is the country being visited. What one country may view a certain tourist group in a negative light, another country may love them. Yeah, I guess. I guess. All right, so let's see here. Where are we? Number 2. Saudi tourists. Known for big spending, but also for being dismissive toward local customs and service staff. Entitlement and demanding behavior are frequent complaints. And I will say I have seen this many times in the hospital right down the street, Waitangi Hospital. Their money helped build, our money helped build your hospital. But I see them always questioning the prices. I mean, you know, listen, I question the prices, but I see them always questioning the prices, and, you know, they're not, I think they're just kind of picky, and they just want to make sure everything is done the way they think it should be done. Every country has bad tourists, but the type of violation a tourist commits seems to have a recurring theme. All right, number 1 on the honorable mention, Brazilians. Loud in groups, often seen ignoring cues, and overly aggressive when things don't go their way. Some say they bring the party everywhere, whether it's welcome or not. You know, I've seen Brazilians in Miami, but not really here. I don't see them much here. I've never had a problem with them, and you know, I didn't even drink any of this. I had a cafe latte, and I forgot all about it. Now it's cold. Oh. So those are the honorable mentions. Now, number 7 on the list was Indian tourists. And I said, why don't the Indian tourists rate higher? But it is now one of the fastest growing visitor groups in Thailand. And with that surge has come rising complaints, especially in Pattaya and Phuket, about loud group behavior, over bargaining. Now listen to this. This is what the Africans do also. Over bargaining to the point of harassment. You will change the price. You must change the price. I will not pay unless you change the price. Oh, we must have a lower price. That kind of thing. poor hygiene in some accommodations. Leaving trash in public spaces. I don't need to heat it up. Locals have voiced frustration, especially in areas where large groups travel on cheap packages and treat service staff poorly. However, it's worth noting many Thai businesses welcome Indian tourists for their spending power, particularly weddings and big events. That's what the Indians are, they like to do that. They like to come here and put together wedding parties. And that's how the Thais make their money from them. Years ago when I lived in London with South Africans, okay, went by themselves, but in a group, they were loud and obnoxious and aggressive. Yeah, I've heard that about them, and I've met a few, but when I met them, I always was with one or two. I was never with a group of like 10 or anything like that, and it makes me wonder. I don't know, but I have thought about going to South Africa because I want to go. Something that's on the bucket list is to photograph and to swim with the great whites. And I know the guy, I know who he is, I know everything about the whole deal there, and I'd like to do it. And so it's still up there, and I'm still thinking about it. But not right now. I have a couple things that I have to take care of here in Thailand, and we've been talking about moving again, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, the last group here, and they come in much smaller numbers than the Indian tourists, and there's far fewer complaints, and that is the Pakistani tourists. They don't really have a major presence in Thailand's tourism scene, and while there have been isolated visa fraud issues, they haven't earned a large-scale negative reputation with the Thai locals or businesses. They're rarely mentioned in official or media complaints. I rarely see Indians spend money. I just see them walking around. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'll tell you what, I see them here in the mall sometimes, and I never see them shopping. I do see some of them carrying bags around, but I don't really see them like, buying a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, the takeaways. Your passport does not make you a good tourist. It's your behavior that makes you a good tourist. It's very simple. Don't be too pushy. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be a cunt. And generally, you'll get along with people. That's pretty much what it is. Being a guest in a country, number two, being a guest in a country means respecting the house rules. That's very, very true. When in Thailand, follow the Thai rules. I mean, if you're supposed to take your shoes off before you go into a place, take your damn shoes off. What's so difficult about it? Oh no, my foot hurts. I got an injury. So do I. And I can still take my shoes off. You're too lazy to untie your shoes. That's not my problem. Number three, if you act like a pig abroad, don't be surprised when people don't want you back. Well, that's kind of like Chinese too. They all stick together. When I worked at the airport, Korean Air and some Mexican airline had adjacent ticketing. When the flights were about to depart, the ticketing was done. KAL was spotless. That's pretty damn good. All righty. Well, very quick. Time just kind of flew by. And I've been trying to find, I have taken probably 75 videos from coffee shops. And I wanted to put up my 3 favorite coffee shops. And now I can't find my videos. Then I wanted to show some of the places that were my favorite places, like the top 5 places that are my favorites and where there's not many foreigners. I can't find the videos. I don't know what it is, but I got to get my act together. That's what takes up all my time. I got to sit there and look through this stuff. It takes me hours. And then I'm like, okay, I got to have to transfer this to that and this to that. And then I do it, and then I go, I still don't know where anything is. So, what are you going to do? Now, the truth is simple. Some tourists have no business leaving their own countries. That's true. If you want to travel, great, but don't ruin it for the rest of us or for the rest of your own kind. If your behavior abroad gets your entire country a bad reputation, well, then that's on you. Not that you care, because most people who do things like that are rather selfish and self-absorbed, but, you know, what can you say? I don't like McDonald's, obviously. I don't like it because of the cockroaches. I'll never forget that, and I don't ever buy coffee from McDonald's anymore. Never, never, never. Everyone is complaining, having y'all act like a stick in the mud or let loose on vacation and get a little stupid. Yeah, it's okay to get stupid. It's okay to even get a couple of looks. Yes, many times. It's okay to get a couple of looks from people like, well, but, you know, when you get to the point where you're being obnoxious or unruly, even the people saying, hey, keep it down a little bit. Okay, no problem. But then if you keep doing it and they just keep telling you and they're like getting angry, well, you know. And I mean, things happen. We gotta face that. Things do happen. But you should opt to be a little bit more polite and less obnoxious than anything else. I've been to the UK many times. I've been there for a month. I've been there for a couple of weeks. I've been there for a couple of days. And I think I went that last time I've been there is maybe 5-6 years, something like that. Just be nice and tip well, and you can get away with a lot. Yes, that's true. Tip well. You know, you don't have to tip like, you know, if something's $100 and you give them a $75 tip. You don't have to do that. But, you know, give them a $30 tip. Make them happy. You know. And they'll remember you. And then you come back and they're glad to see you. And if you get trashed, which, I mean, that's happened. I've gotten trashed before. I've gone out with the boys. We spent like, 20,000 baht. Next thing you know, we're like, we can barely walk. But everybody was smiling, and they showed us out, and they helped us to our cars, and they helped us to a taxi, and Well, the one thing I know is that a lot of my friends have never even been out of the United States. Oh, wow. I like London. I don't know about now, but, I've always liked it when I went. I wouldn't mind going back, but I don't, as long as I have a reason. The people that I used to go see there, they live in Vancouver now, and they're not going to go back. They're not going to be living in the UK again. So yeah, I mean, I've talked about this, but just recently, I just don't feel like going anywhere. I don't really feel like traveling. I mean, my wife said the other day, she said, well, when I come back, we should go to Surat. And I said, yeah, we should. And I'm like, all right, well, that means I gotta go down there. And then I'm like, do I want to sit on a train? No, I really don't. I'd rather just fly down there and be there in a couple of minutes. I'd be there in what, an hour and a half. Yeah, that's not a big deal. When you puke, money solves all. Money fixes it. Now, if you don't want to pay the money, you want to be obnoxious, I mean, then you're going to have a problem. No, she's at home. She's at home today. She's working. So we have a few things to do. Just next week, she's going to be, she'll be out in Phuket, I think, and I don't want to go there. Nicholas, I don't think he's going to go, and we're just going to go to. She's going to come back, and we'll go to Suwon, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care, I mean, if we go, great. I can finish up the video. I can show, what the durian trees look like. I mean, it's something that I like to do. That'll be fun, but that'll take me like a day or two. But I want to see just how the house is coming, because, for me to go down there and to stay down there, I need to have my own room, like me and my wife's room. We need to have our own room. We need to have air conditioning. And I need to be able to connect to like 5G. So, you complained about Koreans, but you puked in the middle of a bar. What friend? Oh, you mean Tom? He's in he was somewhere with his wife. I think he went to Bangsan. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. I think I'll be here next Friday. I don't think I'm going to do a Tuesday stream or Wednesday stream or anything like that. I think I'm just going to stick to once a week, and that's it. I think Tom will be back tomorrow, but I don't think I'll be here tomorrow. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like coming here every day. It just gets boring, I mean, it's like, and I thought about streaming from home today, and I just went, my wife's going to be out there. She might be yapping on the phone, and I got to hear her, and I don't want to close the door, so I just thought, whatever. I don't know. You don't spend it. You put it in the bank. That's what you do. You make sure it's invested. To me, that's what you do. We have that problem sometimes. We're wondering, well, what do I do with this money? Throw it in the bank, save it, invest it, do whatever. I mean, if you spend $3,000, $4,000 a month, you got plenty of money left over. You just keep investing it, Well, then don't. I mean, what are you asking me for? I know what I do, and I'm very conservative, and I'm fine. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. It's taken a long time to get to this point. Oh, by the way, let me show you guys something. You see over there? The white board, plaster board. That is a new shop going up, taking the place of Don Key. What is it? Don Key. Yeah, Don Key. It's taking the place of Don Key. Don Key. I don't know why they shut it down. Maybe they weren't doing enough business. I don't know. But that a lot of places are shutting down in this mall, and they always seem to have places that will be able to replace them. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care about all that, you know? Not anymore. I mean, it's nice. You see a good-looking woman, you go, oh, wow. But, you know, you're still going to have the same things to deal with. You might have problems with her. She might want money from you, and you might not want to be willing to give her that money. You know, she may have a certain way about her that you don't agree with. She might be a bitch. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong. If I was an older man, which now I am an older man, if I didn't have my wife, I would stay like I am now. I would have my kids. I'd be like, hey, I got you guys, no problem. I go once in a while when I need my weasel greased. I'd go into a shop. I'd have them take care of me, give me a tune-up, and that'd be it. Because I don't want any problems. What problems do I need? Yeah, I've been to a couple of Don Keys. I've been to several of them now. But this one, I don't know. It didn't have a restaurant in it, and the little bit that they made into a place where you could sit down and eat food it was tiny. It was like you could sit like maybe like 10 people, and that was it. And I was like, this ain't big enough. So I never bought any food from them. If I bought food, I either brought it home, and that was very seldom. Yeah, they play that song too much, man. Which I didn't ever like, but, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gone now. And I want to see what is coming next. Burger King? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to come with Burger King. First of all, this is too big. They'd have to put in a couple of shops. I don't know what other shop they're going to put in. They have another, like, women's makeup shop in the front. And I'm like, this mall is just, to me, I don't like this mall. I mean, okay, you want to get food. You want to get a little something to eat. You want to go out and get some. Okay, fine. It serves its purpose. But as far as the places to go shopping, I mean, you know, they have like little places. Like you want to get a polo shirt, or you want to get, you know, like what do you call it? What's the crocodile one? Izod. You want to get something like that? Yeah, they sell them, but they're, you know, the quantities are fairly small. The little shops that they have are very small, so they're not that good. Don Donki is a Japanese shopping center and restaurant, and it's pretty good. The restaurant is very good. Starting to get a little bit flat now. Yeah, nice place, but you know, I don't know, just another place. You know, after a while, it's just another place. You know, I don't think Minato's doing as good. You know, the girl, you remember the girl who we know there, 2/4 Korean? I think she finally got married to a guy. I think she's married, but she doesn't work there anymore. She works at another place. And this Minato's, because you can't sit at their restaurant, you have to carry it out to the seating area for the mass seating, where, you know, anybody can sit. And it's okay. The food is, you know, is pretty good, but it changes the experience there. Still spend it on them, just don't have as much fun. So I think some of these places are going to, a little bit more than are showing now, they're going to end up closing up. Yeah, Kloster is a beer. And yes, it is sold here. And they actually have I know they have at least one beer garden that sells it. In my 50s, I'm in my 50s, all my money is for sex. Work out to be better at it, buy clothes to look better before I do it, buy cologne to smell better while doing it, etc., etc. Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel sorry for you, dude. I buy clothes because I want it. I want some new clothes. I buy a shirt because I want a new shirt. I buy cologne because I ran out of cologne and I need some new cologne. You know, Jono gave me 2 bottles of some stuff. It's like Marato or something like that. You cannot import them into Thailand because they have alcohol in them and they don't allow that here. There's only like 1 bottle out of like 20 that you can bring in. But I mean, I have what's the Johnny Depp one? I'm running out, but I'll get some more soon. I'm trying to stash the cash. That's what I want to do. I got things coming up. I got all kinds of things to think about, so I need to make sure that everything is good. And that's why, that's one reason that I don't want to travel as much, because every time I go out, I spend a shitload of money. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money I spent with all the places that I went the first, say, 20 years that I was here. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, where is Darth? His libido is dropped off the cliff, so he doesn't have to worry as much. By the way, I saw my friend from Cambodia the other day. And he's doing all right. Then he called me from Cambodia. I saw him. He was in Bangkok. And we hung out for a little bit. And then I saw him. And then, he called from Cambodia. I thought he was still here, but he wasn't. And he was talking about how, shit, man, I'm getting old. I don't need that much stuff. All I care about is putting enough money away so that if something happens, I'm all right, Well, it's pretty normal. From the time you're like 18 to the time you're 50 or 60, your libido will drop off. Believe me. And what'll happen is after a while you start to go, I don't really care. Even though maybe you do care. It's not as important. It's not up on the top priority of the list. So, anyway, oh God. Both my shoulders are just trashed right now. Let's see here. Remember to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you'd like to show your support for the channel, you can do so by joining the VIP section of the channel for as little as $1.99. Also, if you want to send me a Dear Scott letter or you need a consultation, email me at anamerikaninbangkok@gmail.com, because that is all I have. Until next time, I am Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo Jukan mai. That's good luck and see you again. Alrighty then. So take care. We all spend the majority of our money on the same things unless you're rich. Shelter, food, healthcare. Yeah. Jim, take it easy. 2 quarters, MGTOW, Tom, Keeling, everybody. Darth, Gabe, Joe, thank you very much. Let me see something here. Nomad Archer, Charles, and Joe, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Take care.